Look at this mess. The corners are not selected properly. I have to go over to the lasso tool and clean that up. The headphones were not selected. This is something that I would see all the time. Look at that. Look at that wire. Perfect. This wire goes all the way down, every bit of wire. The hand is perfectly cut out. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jesus. This really saves so much time. I'm going to copy and paste that. And look at that. Holy moly. With Photoshop Beta at the moment, we're seeing a brand new form of remove background and select subject. This is using advanced AI technology to look at the image, understand what it is, including hairs and little wires and things, and it's actually selecting the subject the way that it's supposed to do it. My name is David Altizer. I am a thumbnail designer. I work for creators such as Curtis Connor, Max Fosh, Drew Gooden, and more. I went from being a full-time filmmaker and YouTuber to now a full-time thumbnail designer. I've been fortunate enough to speak at VidSummit 2024, and I've been able to help dozens and dozens of creators get over 200 million views in the last year. This is not a Canva feature. This is not a feature that you can get any other way. It's only in Photoshop and not the standard Photoshop Beta. I typically opt for the standard Photoshop, that's the blue one, for the majority of my work because it's the most stable version. But Beta seems to have the most cutting edge features. If you haven't done it already, if you're not even familiar with it, go to your Creative Cloud where you can download Photoshop Beta. Inside of Beta, you're given this window as soon as you select subject for the first time with this new feature enabled. With everything updated, it says select subject and remove background is improved. I went ahead and defaulted to the cloud. The only way to get this new feature is to enable it in the cloud. So once that's done, it started loading, and look at this. Ted is perfectly selected. This is for a creator named Ted Navision. Now I've switched back to the original standard Photoshop and hit select subject, and look at this. Look at this mess. The corners are not selected properly. I have to go over to the lasso tool and clean that up. The headphones were not selected. This is something that I would see all the time. Now, don't get me wrong, the select subject tool saved a lot of time because it did at least get 80% of the selection done for me. But look at this new beta version of subject selection. It gets everything, even the little tiny wires. And I'm just really impressed with this first result. When I copy and paste it, you can see it did have a little bit of a leftover there. I had to cut that out, but overall, this is pretty solid. So now let's see how it does with Tucker, his co-host, and boom, in one button click, just like that again. And this one's a little bit more complicated. We've got the plants in the background. We've got picture frames in the background. Now this is me back into the standard Photoshop, hitting select subject for Tucker. And look at that. Just like I expected, the black on the headphones does not get selected properly because of the picture frames on the wall and the dark shadows going on. Again, it wasn't terrible. I mean, it's definitely better than what we had in the early 2000s when I first started learning Photoshop. But the beta version just works the way that I expect it to. So now I'm going to test this out with one of my favorite creators who I'm blessed to work with, Curtis Connor.
The thumbnail dude I've been working with too. It's like, that's like a whole new thing for me. Which is like having someone else.
Dude, the thumbnail guy, like cottage industry of our space is pretty incredible. I don't even understand what they're doing.
So let's hit select subject and boom. Wow. Yeah, I mean, I'm going to still probably go in here and I like to subtract some of those areas. I'm using the lasso tool and pushing the option button on Mac to subtract elements, just giving it some little hair details. But even if you don't do that, holy cow, that is actually really amazing. Look at that, those little hooks and everything. Oh, wow. Okay, so let's copy and paste that like that, and let's put it on just a red background so that we can really clearly see what's going on there. I mean, when I zoom out right here, that looks pretty dang good. Oh my goodness. So let's switch over to standard Photoshop and see how that selection does there. So I'm gonna hit select subject. This is old Photoshop or standard Photoshop. It does it faster because it's not having to ping to the cloud, but and it does a pretty good job. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna like throw shade here, but what I've found select subject to do poorly with these types of curls is that it gives you these weird artifacts Let's do the same thing. We'll do a just a red background. I'm not gonna lie, that's not terrible. That's pretty dang close to what we had over in the new beta. Beta with the new selection, Photoshop. Arguably, these are the same with a slight edge going to Photoshop beta. I think the reason this works so well in the original Photoshop is because Curtis gave me such a great asset to begin with. He is in focus, nice and sharp with a decent camera. He's got a white background, so his hair really stands out. I mean, obviously here I am right now in front of a blue screen. So using something like that, whether it's a white wall or a blue screen or a green screen, that's going to give you the best key, if you will, with the select subject tool, which is why I think this was such a clean selection in the original Photoshop. Okay, now this one here is from a video that Curtis did where he reviewed old tech. Let's just see how it does. Okay, again, it goes really fast. I will say the hair is a little bit more messy, it seems here. It's not selecting those areas there and there. It totally missed the wire here and here down there. It got most of the wires there, but it's not perfect. It's got some weird artifacts around it. Because he's on a white wall, it's a pretty dang good selection. When I turn on the red background, you can really see where those mistakes were, and that's something that I'd have to do by hand. I'd have to fix that by hand. I'd have to draw over the wire before you cut it out. Also, his hair definitely has more kind of issues than the previous one. In the Photoshop beta, let's pull it. Boom. Let's see what it did. Okay, there's still definitely a lot of white in the hair there, but I'd say the hair looks similar, maybe a little better. But where I'm curious, yep, there you go. Look at that. Look at that wire. Perfect. The tool here is selected, that little computer. This wire goes all the way down, every bit of wire. The hand is perfectly cut out. Oh my goodness. Thank you, Jesus. This really saves so much time. I'm going to copy and paste that. And look at that. Holy moly. Wow. So this is the new beta, and this is original Photoshop. Just a total clean pull there. This is just a quick video showing this amazing tool that has been updated inside of Photoshop beta. I hope to see it in the original or official version of Photoshop. If you want to see how I build an entire thumbnail, watch this video. It's a video where I break down how I made this thumbnail for Max Fosh that got over 7 million views. I'll see you over there.